then it's cool because I always keep me a spare. So today's topic is and I got this from social, of course. This woman says enough women respect their husbands, and take a listen to what she had to say about
This lady
this.
says that her man has the final word. Is it like that in your house? Check her out, then leave your comments below.
If my husband tell my kids no, then the answer is no. If my husband tell my kids yes, then the answer is yes. And if I do not agree with him saying yes or no, right? I will never, ever in my life correct it in front of them. I will not. I will ask him to talk to him in the back separately, apart from my kids. I will correct it later or something else. See, that is the problem that we're having. Y'all are having. You feel as though you could go toe to toe with your man in person in front of those kids. And baby, let me tell you, you are doing more damage than you even know. You are showing your kids, for one, you're demasculating him. You're not showing them that he is a role, that he is the head. Y'all are a partnership, don't get me wrong.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Kathleen. How are you? Happy Friday.
Lock and key.
Sorry,
but he is the provider. He is the head of this household.
What's up? It's the Mad Hatter with another dilemma. This lady said,
well, what do you guys think?
that her man has the final word.
I'm sorry.
Is it like that in your house?
Does she have a point? She says not enough women respect their husbands. Said the man should have the final word in a marriage. Kenneth said keeping conflicts from children. I agree. I agree with her on that part. I'm with you, Kenneth Wynn. I don't believe you should be arguing with your mate in front of kids. I don't know. Maybe because I got to see it. Well, my mama didn't really do much arguing. It was most of my father. But yeah. Or Carl is his name. Anyway. But so do you agree with what she's saying? Do women not respect their husbands? Should the man have the final say in a marriage? Auntie says she also agrees. Auntie, why you agree? I'm just curious because you're a woman. I always like to hear the women's perspective, but I'm going to play this back again for my new folks on here. And what up, my Twitch family? Happy Friday to you. I appreciate you being on here. Here we go. Hold on, because I'm not trying to get this guy in my damn thing, because it's his video that I took. Sorry, not sorry. Super Pat said that's a good wife right there. A good husband will listen and take her input. Here we go.
No. If my husband tell my kids yes, then the answer is yes. And if I do not agree with him saying yes or no, right? I will never, ever in my life correct it in front of them. I will not. I will ask him to talk to him in the back separately, apart from my kids. I will correct it later or something else. See, that is the problem that we're having. Y'all are having. You feel as though you could go toe to toe with your man in person in front of those kids. And baby, let me tell you, you are doing more damage than you even know. You are showing your kids, for one, you're demasculating him. You're not showing him that he is a role, that he is the head. Y'all are a partnership, don't get me wrong, lock and key. But he is the provider. He is the head of this household.
What's up? It's the Mad Hatter with another dilemma. This lady says,
Brandon said, I agree. Don't put your children in argument. I think husband should have the last word. Auntie said it could have a do-over. If I could have a hold on, Auntie. If I could have a do-over, redo over with my kids, I would have done things much differently. Oh, okay, Auntie. Curious. What is one thing you feel like you wish you could have done differently? Super Pat said kids will try to play parents against each other, so they should show a united front. Yeah, kids. You don't think we didn't try to get away with that when we was kids? But like this one, if my dad said no, it was pretty much no. But my dad was so super strict when it came to things. And I appreciate it now. I appreciate it that Carl kept me away from certain things. Like I couldn't go over to a friend's house. I mean, I could go to friends' houses, but I had to leave names, numbers. I had to leave addresses. He wanted to speak to the parents. I couldn't really sleep over people's houses like that. Like he wanted information. So, but his word was the final say, unless he wasn't there. And then mama, it was up to mama, and mama did the final say. Mama was a little more lenient when it came to things. She was the less stricter parent. She always encouraged my dad Carl, to have us do stuff because she didn't want us to be so confined in a box. So that's why she wanted us to get out. She doesn't want us to be like, it was okay to be homebodies. It was okay to be family but she wanted us to, get out and explore. She wanted us to basically have a life, is basically what I'm saying, without being confined to the strictness of Carl. So she would let us do things. Not crazy things, but she gave us a little more leeway than he did, if that makes sense. Kathleen said, okay, thank you, Kathleen. I will follow you. For my new folks on here, we are talking about, of course, it's a marriage topic, but this woman says not enough women respect their husbands. Not enough women respect their husbands. And the question is, should a man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Auntie said, get out of the situation. Got out of the situation I was in. The whole relationship turned toxic, and my children were in that mess. Thank God they're okay. Yes, Auntie. My cousins are just fine, but I understand, Auntie. I get it. If you could have did it minus the BS, you would have did it minus the BS, but I understand. Yeah, Tasha. So I'm going to play this clip back because, again, we do have some new folks on here. Auntie said, and no, at one point I had no respect for him. Jeez. Why, Auntie? That's something to be said when you don't have respect. I'm just curious, Auntie, why. But take a listen to what this young lady had to say.
My kids no, then the answer is no. If my husband tell my kids yes, then the answer is yes. And if I do not agree with him saying yes or no, right, I will never, ever in my life correct it in front of them. I will not. I will ask him to talk to him in the back, separately, apart from my kids. I will correct it later or something else. See, that is the problem that we're having. Y'all are having. You feel as though you could go toe-to-toe with your man in person, in front of those kids. And baby, let me tell you, you are doing more damage than you even know. You are showing your kids, for one, you're demasculating him. You're not showing them that he is a role, that he is the head. Y'all are a partnership, don't get me wrong, lock and key. But he is the provider. He is the head of this household.
What's up, Mr.
Okay, so what are our thoughts on this for my new folks that are on here? Does she have points? I agree with some of the stuff that she's saying. I definitely don't think you should hash anything out in front of your kids. I do feel like that does create like a toxic, maybe not all your arguments. I wish, my parents would have, but it wasn't mama, I promise you. I just wish, certain things I didn't have to see growing up. So I don't know. I don't think, again, Dee Dee is a bonus mom, so what are for the folks that do have kids? I mean, is this something like you guys practice, when your kids were growing up, you and the spouse didn't argue, you had the final word. What was your role? Super Pat said, now if she keeps dragging me to the back, that's gonna be an issue. Dragging you to the back in public or dragging you to the back in private, though? Which part, Super Pat, is gonna be an issue? Dragging you in public or in private? See, I have this thing about being embarrassed. I do not like to be embarrassed. I don't know, in front of people. Like, if you embarrass me, I could count. You can best believe you probably will never speak to me again in your life. Like, that is like my one pet peeve. Whatever you do, please do not embarrass me, because the moment you embarrass me, yeah, it's over. Scott Pope said, husband, love your wives as Christ. I love the church, and wives do also. If we live by this, it would not be any problems. I agree with you, Scott, but a lot of folks ain't living by them biblical terms no more. Super Pat said, that means she's double guessing my decisions. Oh, if you guys got to have a conversation in private, that means she's double guessing your decisions. Your word is just final. You have the final word. Ain't nothing to discuss. I'm just trying to get clarification. So that was the question. You got the final say. Like, there's nothing to discuss. Once you have laid down the law, super prepared, your word is law. What up, Boston 1K? We're talking about, do women have enough respect for their husbands? Hi, it's the Pope 49. Just in time, we're talking about, do women have enough respect for their husbands? Do women have enough respect for their husbands? And then the next part of this is, should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Super Pat said, especially on simple things, LOL. So Super Pat, what you're saying is your word is final. There's nothing to discuss. You're not going to know back. But take a listen to
Tell
what
my
this lady
kids
said to my new
no, then the
folks.
answer is no. If my husband tell my kids yes, then the answer is yes. And if I do not agree with him saying yes or no, right, I will never, ever in my life correct it in front of them. I will not. I will ask him to talk to him in the back, separately, apart from my kids. I will correct it later or something else. See, that is the problem that we're having. Y'all are having. You feel as though you could go toe to toe with your man in person, in front of those kids. And baby, let me tell you, you are doing more damage than you even know. You are showing your kids,
Welcome,
for one,
Mama.
you're demasculating him. You're not showing them that he is a role, that he is the head. Y'all are a partnership, don't get me wrong, lock and key. But he is the provider. He is the head of this household.
What's up? It's the
All
man with
right, so I do got some new folks, so I probably will have to run that video back one more time, so I apologize. But a woman says not enough women respect their husbands. And then the second question, should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word be the final say in a marriage? Babe said most do when they're the breadwinner. Well, yeah, that's why in my household, my Carl made the decisions. His word was it. He basically, if he said no, it was pretty much no, unless Mama was feeling comfortable with the situation. Like, I had friends, like, I would want to go, have sleepovers. Carl, no, can't go. Not doing no sleepovers. Nope, not doing it. Mama was a little more lenient because Mama didn't want us to be, not exposed to the world, is basically. She wanted us to have some experiences in the world and not be like closed in, if that makes sense. Tasha said, my mother knew what topic was debatable depending on what tone my father spoke in and what was in front of us. Or my father, I'm sorry, let me read this again, Tasha, because I can't read. My mother knew what topic was debatable depending on what tone my father spoke in, and that was in front of us or in private. Okay, got you. It's a Pope 49 said, I don't know, but my wife does. It's all about how you run your households. I agree. Tasha said, both my parents have successful careers, and my mother's salary doubled my father's, but she respects him. Even when she disagrees, she made sure we respect him or get our teeth knocked out. Okay. She didn't play. She, just because she was the breadwinner, she made sure that y'all put some respect on your father's name, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a Pope 49 said, final say, I say no. We should come to an agreement so we can function better as a family. Auntie said, girl, we don't allow. Yes, Auntie, I know. I think it's a part of my family thing. They didn't allow sleepovers. Yeah, I think it's a part of my family thing. Family's a little bit built different, but it's all good. But yeah, Auntie, couldn't stay tonight, but Mama, like I said, Mama didn't want us to, not to be exposed to the world, that we were so, like, secluded from everything and couldn't do nothing. She wanted us to have a real life experience. So I appreciate Mama for that, because if it was not for her, I would probably be out here maybe a loosey-goosey because I didn't get no real world experiences. No, I'm just joking. I would never. But yeah, you get my point. New folks. Should the man have the last, or should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? And she says that women do not respect their husbands enough. Does she have a point? Fellas, do you agree? Seems like a lot of you, some of you, have some great marriages. But for the folks, who were married, maybe divorced now, or marriage isn't going so well, or you've been married before, have you experienced this where you feel like women, you didn't get any respect in your relationship as a husband? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Tasha said we could visit, but it wasn't no sleepovers with friends and maybe certain That was it, Tasha. Yeah. He didn't play none of them games. And certain family members, it had to be pretty much his side of the family for the most part. Grandma was probably about it. He was good with my grandmother. May she rest in peace. But that was probably about it. Everybody else was question mark. Yeah, sleepovers. Oh no, we're not doing none of that. Brandon said we should come to a final agreement on who should run the relationship with his wife. You're saying, Brandon, that who needs to come to an agreement on who should with the relationship? I'm confused. Rewrite that question. I apologize. I'm a little confused with that question. Hey, old Mill. I don't know how to say that. What up? Oh, that's what I'm gonna call you. Mama said I will never again have the final say. We are partners. So, Mama, you're not 100% in agreement with this. With the man having the final say in the relationship. You don't feel like it should be both people coming to an understanding as opposed to one person making the decision. Hey, NBC. Should the man have the final say in a relationship? Should the man have the final say in a marriage? Always. Hey, Pat. Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage is the question. Should the man's word be the final say in a marriage? And a woman says not enough women respect their husbands. Now, if you're married, do you see this from other married couples? Have you seen this from other married couples? Nope, we should discuss it. So I'm going to play this video back. And then and then for everybody, I'm going to play this video back. I apologize because I want to take a listen. Mama said, nope, we should discuss it. I think that's kind of what she was saying. But she lets him say yay or nay. Hold on. Let me play it because I'm trying to get him.
If my husband tell my kids yes, then the answer is yes. And if I do not agree with him saying yes or no, right, I will never, ever in my life correct it in front of them. I will not. I will ask him to talk to him in the back separately, apart from my kids. I will correct it later or something else. See, that is the problem that we're having. Y'all are having. You feel as though you could go toe-to-toe with your man in person in front of those kids. And baby, let me tell you, you are doing more damage than you even know. You are showing your kids, for one, you're demasculating him. You're not showing them that he is a role, that he is the head. Y'all are a partnership, don't get me wrong, lock and key. But he is the provider. He is the head of this household.
What's up? It's the Mad Hatter with
All right, so Chev and DJ Do It, welcome to the party. We're talking about today, should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? And then this woman says, says not enough women respect their husbands. Not enough women respect their husbands. So how are we feeling? Do we agree? I'll play that back again in a second. Auntie said it should be discussed and come up with some type of agreement. I agree. Tasha said, no man can't have the final say on everything. We can discuss it 100 times if you want to. But if you want me to see black when it's clearly blue, I'm not budging. I won't be led to oblivion. I'm with you. That's funny, Tasha. Mama said, I agree with doing it privately. I'm great, Chef. Can't complain. Still kicking it. Mama said, what if he's not the provider? She is. I think Trey said something about, it's usually the case when the person is the provider, they usually, when the man is, I guess, the provider, they usually have the last say because they're the provider. But should the man's word be always the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? And I do agree with what she says. I don't think you should have conversations in front of kids or in front of people, period. Like, I'm not finna be arguing in front of people. Because one thing, my pet peeve is I do not like to be embarrassed. If you embarrass me, I'm shutting all the way down and I'm never speaking to you again. Like, I don't know why that is such a phobia of mine, of being embarrassed, but you will not do it, okay? Because I'm not going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to walk away from you. But yeah, I do not like to be embarrassed. So I rather, if it is a situation where we don't agree, is go, like she said, and have a private conversation privately, so that way, because people like to gossip. They be like, "Ooh, did you see them over there arguing?" Because I know I will be gossiping about your ass too on this shit. Like, oh, I'm just joking, but am I? I'm sorry. Chef said, I agree to that with distortion or to a distinct. Super Pat said, a lot of women want a beta man. What is a beta man? I don't even know what that is. I know what an alpha man is. So a beta man must mean it's the opposite. I'm assuming. Anyway, what if it's 50-50? Good question. Mama said, what if it's 50-50? Does the man still get the right to have the final say in the marriage? I say he does, because the man's supposed to be the leader, right, of the household. I say he does. What if it's 50-50? Does the man still have that right to have the final say? I can't wait to hear these. Chef said, not all the. And Auntie said, do it privately. Pat said, nah, we're gonna come to an agreement. Chef said, not all the time. Okay, Chef said, not all the time. Should the man always have the final say? Why do you say not all the time, Chef? Just curious. Why do you say just curious? You don't always got to play devil's advocate. So I'm just curious on why you would say not all the time. And then for my new folks on here, okay? Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Mama said some men don't know how to lead. Uh-oh. Mama, don't you start that now. Don't you start that now. If Rashad and F.A. was on here like they was supposed to be. Don't you stop that. Auntie said still needs to be discussed 50-50 or not. Tasha said my man only wanted to lead me to Harry. Listen. Did you do? Oh, you missed that whole conversation. Did you do? Tasha, you getting up today, girl. Stop it. You about to make me super bad. Chef said not men. Oh God, I can't even go back. Tasha, you done effed up the city with that one. Should the man's word be the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word be the final say in a marriage? And this woman believes that not enough women respect their husbands. Does she have a point? And then I want you to take a listen to what she had to say. Tasha just messed me up with that one. I am over here dying. Oh my goodness. Take a listen. Here we go.
If my husband tell my kids no, then the answer is no. If my husband tell my kids yes, then the answer is yes. And if I do not agree with him saying yes or no, right, I will never, ever in my life correct it in front of them. I will not. I will ask him to talk to him in the back. Separately, apart from my kids, I will correct it later or something else. See, that is the problem that we're having. Y'all are having. You feel as though you could go toe-to-toe with your man in person, in front of those kids. And baby, let me tell you, you are doing more damage than you even know. You are showing your kids, for one, you're demasculating him. You're not showing them that he is a role, that he is the head. Y'all are a partnership, don't get me wrong, lock and key. But he is the provider. He is the head of this household.
What's up? It's the Mad Hatter with another.
But that is a good question, Mama, because what if he is not the provider? What if he, you know what I'm saying? What if you guys are going 50-50? But I think I understand what she's saying. It should still be the same respect given, even though he's maybe not the full breadwinner. You guys are going 50-50 on the bills. And Chef, y'all keep saying men can't lead, but y'all not saying nothing. I need some whys. Why do you say not all men can lead? And I'm not disagreeing with this, but I just want to hear why you feel like that. Pat said Tasha catting up today, chill. Babe said 100%. Super Pat said, but seriously, I trusted my wife's decision making in regards to the kids, so she made most of the decisions, and I made the big money decisions. See, okay, so Carl paid the bills, and Carl made the money to pay the bills, and then Mama would pay the bills. So Mama was in charge of making sure that the bills got paid, making sure we were taken care of, and whatnot. So yeah, she handled the household stuff. So I understand what you're saying, Super Pat, right there. I get that. But y'all are cutting up on this thing. I need an explanation on why y'all feel like some men can't lead. And I'm not disagreeing with you, because I do feel like some of y'all can't lead. Like, and I don't want to go back to this whole staking that country fried steak from the other day. But all I was saying was, y'all swear up and down, y'all beat y'all chest, y'all want to be leaders. It would have took that man how many milliseconds to show that woman how to eat that country fried steak. And I don't give a damn. I would have ate that steak like that too. You just wouldn't have to talk to me no more. I would have ate the steak like that too. It's country fried steak. Don't nobody care. Okay, that's a topic from another day. Sorry. Mama said some men just don't know how to run the house. Super Pat said, happy wife, happy life. Let her have her way. I don't agree with that, Super Pat. I believe in happy spouse, happy life. Because how you got one person happy and then one person miserable? Like, what kind of life is that? Boys, I would hate to be some of you men. The way that some of y'all be talking, like y'all be just in misery. All these women trying to holler at you. Oh my God. Walk them back with a stick. Life is terrible. Y'all gotta cater to the woman. Y'all gotta put your feelings to the side. Hey, Snail Sammy. Oh my goodness, the life that y'all live. It's terrible. I would hate it. Anyway, I'm just playing. Question is, should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? And then Mama and Chef brought up a point that said some men can't lead. Mama said, some men don't know how to run the house. But does that mean they're not good leaders because they don't know how to run a household? They're just leaving it up to the woman to do. Does that mean they're not effective leaders because they don't know how to run a house? Pat said, Super Pat, she can't have her way. Nah, she can't have. Pat said, nah. That's why I said happy spouse, happy life. You know, you could say that back in the day. Happy wife, happy life. When men didn't think they were the prize. Let me stop. I love you, man. I do. When y'all didn't think y'all was the prize, that's when happy wife. But now that y'all think y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all on our level, I guess. Give her money and let me watch football in peace. See, Super Pat, I love football. So, I'm with you. Mama said men just want to work, come home, eat, and go to their man caves. You heard that, man? Mama said men just want to work, come home, eat, and go to their man caves. They don't want no other responsibilities. They don't want to deal with them kids. They say, I've been at work all day with them kids. Let me stop. Chef said, I know some like to be liked by the kids and their friends. So you say the fathers be trying to have too much of a friendship relationship with their kids instead of like disciplining their kids. I don't want to misquote you, Chef. So let me know if I said that correctly. But happy house. That's what I said. Happy house, mama. Happy spouse. I just don't think it's one sided. It can't be. You know what I'm saying? Not in this mental health era awareness world we live in now. You know what I'm saying? And I think men, you guys have been doing that and suppressing, y'all emotions for too long. That's why you're frustrated. Allegedly. Anyway, Super Pat said, we don't want no smoke with the wife. True. And Super Pat said, some women, I love football. You better ask boyfriend. You better ask him. Thursday, Friday, I'm excited. I cannot wait for football season. So Super Pat, yeah. I just want to watch my football in peace. With you. I just want to watch my football in peace. I'm with you on that. But Pat said, "Mama, right, Mama. That's how many households. I mean, like I said, my father was the provider. He made the money. And my mom was the one that held down. She held the household down. That's how it went in my household. She paid the bills. She made sure that the bills were paid, the bills were up to date, that the checks was cut, that they was in the mail, that they was sent out to the. Yeah, she did all of that while taking care of us and feeding us and working a business. So, Chef said I would make sure my spouse happy all the time. That's good, Chef. That's a good mentality to have. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? It should be, but it depends on how you say it to me, though. Can we talk about that, though? It depends on what you say and how you say it, though. It could be the final word, but sometimes some of y'all be talking out the side of y'all neck. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of arguments, and I'm not no relationship expert by any means, but I think a lot of arguments stem from the way that folks talk to one another. You know, you may think you're saying it one way, but you don't know how something is perceived to another person because you're not that person. So you may think you're saying it all calm, cool, and collectly. Like sometimes, I don't realize I be saying stuff and people be having to check me. Not boyfriend, but other folks had to check. Like, yeah, you said that with a little bit of, aggression tone in your voice, and I didn't. But for women, black women, we always just grow so angry and all the above anyway. But sometimes folks will be like, well, you could have probably said that this way. And then I'll think about the situation and be like, okay, well, maybe I could have said it that way, but the crash out is done. So here we are. Mama says, so how's she going to be happy? So how's she going to be happy? He always have the final say. That's a good point. Maybe she don't care. Maybe she don't care about him having the final say. Some people don't want that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with paying the bills, but as far as making decisions, I'm an indecisive person, okay? I'm a Pisces. We're indecisive. I have a fish that goes this way and that way, okay? And on the wrong right day, okay? Wrong right day, you're going to ask me a question and I'll be like, I don't know. That's on. I don't know. Or I'd be like, I want this. Or I want this. That's just me. I don't know. But good point, Mama. Super Pat said depends on guy's personality. I'm non-confrontational. See, Super Pat, I'm like you. Don't start nothing. Okay? But when I gotta come with that fire and... Anyway, enough about me. Shep said, I cook, I clean. You sound like Cardi, girl. I cook, I clean. But Offset, that wasn't true. Anyway, Mama said, my mama did all the work, paid the bills, and made the final say, and her husband was a happy man. Just depends on the man, I think, Mama. There are some men that are content with letting the woman lead, and then there are some men that don't. They're alpha males. There's no way in hell a woman is going to lead. In their opinion. Tasha said, I was raised to allow my man to provide, protect, and teach his family. But these new men want to be the wife's... Girl, you didn't know, Tasha. Girl, they the prize now. You missed our other residential FA yesterday. Love FA. But he know he the prize. Can't tell FA no different. FA know he the prize. I love him though, but he know it. Hey, Miss Janice. Happy Friday, TGIF. We're talking about, should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? Should the man's word always be the final say in a marriage? And this woman says not enough women respect their husbands. Not enough women respect their husbands is the other part of this. Again, I know some of you have been married before. Have you witnessed this? Or have you been a part of this situation where the woman didn't respect you? It happens. Where the woman didn't respect you. I say, and then I'm going to play the clip one last time. Because we got about 28 more seconds on here. 28 more seconds. I'm sorry. 28 more minutes. I apologize on here. But, I mean... should the man's word always be the final say? Maybe not always the final say. I thought marriage was a partnership. What happened to that part? Is that part gone? I thought it was a partnership. I'm sorry. I'm playing devil's advocate again. I thought it was a partnership. So if it's a partnership, shouldn't both partners have the final say in the decision? Why is it just one side? I get the man is the leader. I get that. But if it's a partnership, like some of y'all like to say, shouldn't we vote on this thing like partners? Partner? Tasha said, if you don't respect the spouse, why are you still there? Good point. Why are you still even there if you can't respect your spouse? And then I don't think some people, Tasha, think it's a lack of respect because maybe they saw, their mother being the dominant figure in their house. So maybe that's how they feel like they have to be because they saw their mama being the dominant figure. So I think it goes on to how you're raised, I feel like there's something on me. Okay. Shep says some marriages will fall apart after many years of being together. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Mama said, my friend said, I don't have a penis, but I say, ninja, I'm doing all the work, spending the money, cooking, driving, paying for the gas tolls, so I don't need to have a penis. I'm doing it all. That part, mama. What he doing? What he doing if you doing all that? Hey, Alicia, how are you today? We're talking about should the man have the last word in the marriage? Oh, I like the question. And IB, really? Oh, I like this question. And go ahead, give it to us. Should the man always have the final word in the marriage? Give it to us, Alicia on Twitch. Chev said, mine figured he pays the bills, he makes the decisions. And then you run into that situation, Chev. You do have situations where if the man feels like, look, I'm the breadwinner, I'm paying all the bills, you do as you say, you do as you're told, and shut up. Someone don't even want you talking. You even say anything back, that's talking back to them. That's talking back. So you do have situations, Chev, absolutely, like where he pays all the bills, where he feels like he makes all the decisions. That was the situation kind of in my house, even though Carl didn't pay all the bills. Mama definitely was helping with them bills. But Mama still treated him as if, he was the breadwinner. I mean, he was basically mostly the breadwinner, but yeah, Mama contributed. Superbad said, if I don't make the decisions, I don't get the blame when things... Superbad. I'm like you. Whatever you want to do. I'm like you, Superbad. Because if I don't got to make the decisions, that means that ain't coming back on me. It on you. On you. Yes, on you. I'm with you like that thinking. I used to think like that as a kid. They'd be like, who did it? I'd be like, I don't know. I knew exactly. I'd be like, I don't know. Mama said, have a penis. LOL. Wait, what did I miss, Mama? My friend said, I don't have a penis. I said that. Oh, my friend said, I have a penis? Did he say you have a penis or you don't have a penis? I'm confused. Mama, which one did he say? Did he say you had an eggplant or you didn't have an eggplant? I'm confused on that. Don't laugh at her, Tasha. She a mess. But yeah, I'm with you, Superbad, on that one. Yeah, because if I don't make the decision, then I don't get the blame. So I'm with you. He who don't make the decisions don't get the blame. I keep that motto. But I threw another question at y'all. The other question was, even though if the man is not completely the breadwinner and you may be going 50-50, should he always have the final say? Should he still have the final say? If you still got to go 50-50, should he still have the final say? Alicia said, oh, I thought it was, do women respect their... No, it is that too, Alicia. It's both parts. Do women respect their marriages? It's both parts of that. So it's two parts of this. And she said, and for that, I say, hell nah. A lot of girls nowadays doing SM that hella disrespectful to their partners at work, at parties or clubs, even beaches and ish. I've seen so much worse from women than men. Ooh. Ooh, Tasha, give it to us. I got an answer. Oh, sorry. I called you Tasha. I seen Tasha. Alicia, give it to us on the Twitch now, girl. Now, what about to the other part? Should men have the final say? Should men have the final say in a marriage? Is their word law? Should they always have the final say? Oh, you said what he do. Okay. That still don't. It's just because you don't mean nothing. Anyway, I got what you were saying. I got you now, mama. What is this? Tasha said, my new man is very good with communication and decision making. He only wants to have the final say if I'm asking for more than $5,000. Well, damn. Okay, dear girl. Shep said, my spouse allowed several people to move into our home. What do you mean several people, Chef? Are these men or these women that moved into your home? Curious question. Who was these women? Hey, got you open ENT? Hold on, let me let you in. Who was these people that this man that moved into your home? Chef, don't make me come. Also, I like my man to have the final say, even if it's 50. So Alicia on Twitch said, also, I like my man to have the final say, even if it's 50-50, but discuss stuff with me and consider my opinion beforehand. What up, got you open ET? Hold on, let me finish reading these comments. Let me finish reading these comments and we're going to get into it. Alicia said, but yeah, I like a decisive man and I don't mind him having the final say at all. I trust him. I always go for a guy who I feel safe trusting. All right then, Alicia, girl. What part of the world are you in on Twitch, if you don't mind me asking? Superpass said, is laughing at you, Tasha. He wants to make sure you don't blow that $5,000 too quickly. And she said, exactly. All right, Superpad. So today we are talking about should men have the final say, or should men always have the final word, or final say in a marriage? And then the second part to this is this woman says that not enough women respect their husbands.
Dee.
Okay, let's go.
I gotta ask, where do you get these things from sometimes, man? Because, yo, some be way off the deep end, boy. You hear me?
I just be scrolling and I be like, oh, we got to chat about this. This is good.
And it's crazy that this is the topic, because I just had a conversation when I was in New York the other day with a young lady. So she says she doesn't really listen to the things that her husband always tell her to do, right?
Okay.
She feel like no man should have to tell her what to do, right? I said, I dig that. I said, but when you go to work, your boss is telling you what time you got to come in, what time you can go to lunch, what time you can leave, what time you got to finish this report, or whatever the case may be, right? This is a man that you're not even married to, that you're taking orders from. Not suggesting, but he's giving you orders that you have to follow. Now you come home and your man is like, well, babe, I don't think you should do this. Maybe we should do this. And you be like, no, who are you to tell me I can't do this? But she gonna listen to this white man. I digress. Now, do I feel like men should always have the last word? No. Because I'm going to tell you, at least from my experience, I'm not always 100% in my thinking all the time.
Right.
So where I may think it may be a good situation, a woman can see it from a different perspective and be like, nah, that ain't how it's supposed to move. We need to move differently. And I say, you know what? I can respect that. So no, I think it should be a conversation that should be done and had before the final word.
I like that. So because I just asked that question because I thought that marriage was supposed to be a partnership. And as a partnership, aren't you supposed to go to your partner and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing for us, or this is what I've been thinking about? Like, not one person, because there is no I in team. Not one person is supposed to be making the decision. I mean, that's what I thought. And Alicia, thank you for checking in from Brazil.
Right, there was no I in team. If I chose, and I chose enough, just you, to be my wife, then that means you are a direct extension of me as I am of you.
Right.
So I have to trust what it is that we should speak of as we are in this partnership.
Together.
A marriage is a partnership.
Yeah.
But real quick, I just got to do the shameless plug. You already see what it is. Blood friends.
Who is that?
Yo, a fruit roll spot, Blend Friends.
Where's that at?
Over here on Washington Avenue by the airport.
Oh, okay.
Eastport.
Nice.
Didi, when I tell you life, this is life.
It's good?
They about 20. They're good. They about 20-something. I'll show you my bowl. About $20-something a bowl.
Okay. Yeah, you got to show me your bowl.
I eat them at least 3 times as strong. So I spend $60 to $80 a head.
Oh, damn.
Easy.
I gotta check them out. What up, Brazil? Alicia from Brazil Twitch.
So, but what's your thought process? Are you listening? Now, if you my girl, then that's a different thing.
Well, no, this is
husband-wife type situation.
Right. This is in reference to should your husband get the final word.
Yeah, nah, that's a partnership. We communicate all the way through.
I'm with you.
Before a final decision is even made, we communicated all the way through. We checked all the I's and crossed all the T's and made sure all the S's had their little link to it. Make sure everything was perfect.
Right.
We made a final decision on what we're gonna do and how we're gonna move.
Right. Hold on. Let me read. The chef said, like my eldest daughter, without my consent, her boyfriend at one time and a female friend at another time. This is just frustrating to me. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Him moving in people and not having a conversation with you. Because, yeah, no. You can't just move folks into and not have a conversation with your spouse on who coming into the crib.
Not at all.
That's like family members popping up.
Not at all. Can't have that.
You know what I'm saying? I would be like, oh, hell to the no.
Yo, real quick. On November 2nd, Smith & Wesson be out here.
Oh.
An interview.
Oh, let's do it. Got you. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you today. Yeah. I'm gonna call you today. I be saying I'm gonna call and then I get distracted.
I just feel like I think if more brothers and sisters came together and really communicated as a partnership, I think we would be a lot further than where we at right now. Oh, honestly and truly.
I do too.
Because it definitely does take a partnership. It definitely does take that union. And if I married you, that means I trust you.
Yeah.
So if I married you, that means I trust what it is and how you think, what you say, and how you move. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, then why would I marry you?
Right. Mama said, what if she...
This is my little discount. I'll be playing around.
I see you. I gotta go try it. That's close to the crib. Mama said, what if she got a female boss? That man is giving her a paycheck, so it's not the same thing. She may
have a female boss, a direct supervisor, but somebody's over her, and I guarantee 9 times out of 10 it's a man.
I think, I'm going back to what you said, got you open ENT. I think it should be a partnership at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
It has to be.
If you have kids and you guys don't agree on something, I think, that should be done privately. I don't think...
Indeed, because what happens is the first time a child sees that there's a disconnect, now that child is going to play both sides of the fence. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially if you... I raised my 2 youngest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I got divorced, my ex-wife had my oldest. So she would ask me something, knowing I'd probably be yeah, but then her mother already told me no. I don't know that your mother already told me no, but then I had to start telling her. I was like, yo, listen, you know what? Because I don't live there.
Yeah.
And you ask me, can you do certain things? I'm gonna have to call your mother, and we're gonna have to have that conversation first.
Right.
To see what it is, if you're okay, and what your mother thinks. And then with my youngest two, I was like, listen, I got y'all. So, all honestly, she has no bearings over here.
Okay.
Because she's not a part.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, if she was I'm not even a legal part, but if she was a true part and a figure, then we would have to converse. But if she said you could do that, and I told you no, it doesn't go down, because she don't have no saying over here. Nor do I have any saying over there, but y'all don't go over there. Y'all over here all the time.
Yeah.
So no, we don't. We can't do that. So So it has to be a connect all the way through. When you're not just children, when you have family all around involved.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no way in the hell you just gonna come to me and be like, yo, my uncle coming to stay with us for 3 weeks.
Hello.
Who said it?
Right.
Even that outside with the dog.
Like hell he is.
He ain't coming in here.
Yeah, that family thing is a tricky thing too.
I had an uncle, I love my uncle. I love my uncle. He's my heart, man. He saved me so many times as a child. He said, nephew, where you live at? I said, I'm up on the north end. I'm in Conyers. Why? What's up? Oh, I'm going to have to come up there and live with you. No, you ain't. I'm sorry, you can't do that.
How you making that decision for me?
Right. No, you can't do that. I'm sorry. And he was like, but again, yeah, we family, but you can't do that, bro. Oh, let me grab my food.
You fine. It be your family that feel that sense of entitlement. That think that they can just come and do whatever. Sheb said that's what my 35 is doing. That's what my 25. That's what her 25-year, I guess, is doing that. Going to the dad. Or coming to her, she's probably saying no, and then going to the dad, and the dad is probably saying yes. Is that what's going on, Chev? You're telling him no, he's telling him yes, because he don't want to seem like he's the bad guy.
I'm gonna show you this bowl.
Okay. So I get what you got going on, Chev, because he don't want to seem like he the bad guy. Let's see this bowl. That's what my 25. Okay, yeah. They play.
This is a smoothie with spironella in it. That's why it's blue.
Okay, spironella. Oh, that looks good.
What? I'm about to be a fat boy. You hear me?
But that's
no
that's healthy stuff, though.
But yeah, nah, man. But yo. All my brothers and sisters out there, man, at this time and frame where we at, yo, we need to sit together, we need to make it work, and we all need to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Do nothing but get worse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But let me get back on this iron horse.
All right, friend. Talk to you soon.
Yo, hit me so we can make that happen.
Yes, I'll call you after the live.
I bet that.
All right, bye. All right, y'all. What a good live today. Let's do some final thoughts on this, because we're almost at the 3 o'clock mark. He didn't show how big the bowl is, but it looked like it was pretty big. It looked good. It did look good and healthy. But what are our final thoughts on this? I say marriage is a partnership. Have a conversation with your partner. That's what the problem is. You know, I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like a lot of the issues that we do have as black men and black women come because everybody is on a power kick. Everybody wants to lead. Okay? What is the saying? Everybody want to be the chief and nobody want to be the Indians. So, but everybody can't lead. I think once we come as black women and black women together as partners, and stop coming together like everybody, is trying to have a pissing contest, I think black women and black men will be better off. So that's my final thoughts. Pat said, I'm with you. Yeah. That's just my final thoughts. I think it's just too much of, okay, yes, man, we know y'all want to be leaders, and that's fine. And yes, man, we know you feel like we don't feel like y'all are leaders, and we don't treat y'all like the leaders you feel like y'all deserve to be treated. But, then there's the other part. As black women, we got a lot of feelings, too, towards the things that black men do. So I think if we all just come together and try to be partners instead of trying to rule one another, we'll be all better off. Final thoughts. Did anybody see Bama State almost beat UAB last night? I watched it. Good game. It was a good game. It was a real good game. So, Pat said, DJ, I love it. Bama State looked good. They did. Brandon said, I love Alabama State Hornets. Zzz. DJ DeWitt said, Pat, I may not be going to the Classic this year. No. That's my school. I went to the game. Yee. Oh, that was a good game last night. I was watching the highlights. That was a good game last night. I could not believe it. I was like, what? But final thoughts. I'm on the radio all weekend, starting tomorrow, Saturday 12 to 4, Sunday 4 to 7, and then back on Monday 10 to 3. So make sure you check me out. Kiss 104.1. Kiss 104.1, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. For the Labor Day weekend, we going in. That boy Reggie B's, he's going to be on the 1s and 2s. So it's going to be a good time. Party on your radio. Labor Day weekend. Cookouts, barbecues, and all the above. Let's get it. You feel me? Pat said, DJ, come. Gotta come, Dee. You coming? I'm going to try to make it for Classic Weekend. It's crazy because I had a conversation with my old boss last week. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll come. I'll come for the... Not one of my old bosses that are cool. But I was like, yeah, I'll come for Classic. They was like, okay, don't be surprised if we put you back on the microphone. That costs. I hope you know that. That ain't for free. But yeah. So you may see me make a cameo at Classic because good times. I'm going to miss it too. If I don't make it, DJ Dewitt said, Pat, I think I'll be watching it at home. Might be better with all these crazy people doing crazy shit. You know, ain't no telling with these. And I ain't trying to put nothing out there, but we were supposed to do part 2 with F.A. and Rashad on this DC thing. So that didn't happen. So maybe it'll happen Monday. I figured it's Labor Day weekend. I figured them 2 knuckleheads wasn't going to get their little tails back on here, but it's all good. Anyway, nobody else got final thoughts? Final thoughts. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Make sure you lock me in. Kiss 104.1. Let me stop. Nobody else got no final thoughts? Going once? Going twice? All right, love y'all for y'all. Have a great Labor Day weekend. We won't do live Monday. We might not. Well, no, I'm not going to disrupt y'all during your holiday. We'll be back Tuesday. Pat said, I don't want to, y'all talking all that smack. I don't want y'all, so, you funny. You funny. He said he don't want y'all talking all that smack this year. Anyway. So, yeah, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Kiss 104.1. Get at your girl. We're back on Tuesday. Love y'all for y'all. Have a safe and blessed holiday weekend. And I'll see you soon. All right, Twitcher Lee. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, Kathleen. And Mr. Awesome, I'm sure that's probably you still hanging out with me. Thank you. Have a good weekend. And I saw that Birmingham got Woodfin again. So congratulations to Randall Woodfin on being re-nominated for the mayor of Birmingham. All right, I'm out. See y'all later.